Okay, let's give this a shot. Hey, everybody, welcome to a really exciting episode of Making the Metaverse. I've got a new studio. Well, kind of. I've signed up for Riverside. I'm going to give it a shot. Hopefully, you're hearing this podcast that it all worked. I've got a willing guest, Anand, who's willing to be a guinea pig. So thanks for that. Hopefully, this is not a waste of our time. Anand studied at Vellore Institute of Technology, where he specialized in IoT and sensors. He's won a lot of hackathons and gained a ton of experience by working in all kinds of projects in a range of different industries, which we'll talk about. Maybe the biggest project at the moment, he's co-founder of Expert Hire, an AI-powered hiring platform. Welcome to the show, Anand.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Really, thank you for the introduction.
Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure. So you're based in India? Yeah.
Yes, I'm based in India, Chennai at the moment. Yes.
Okay. Any festivities recently?
Yeah, we had our Diwali celebrations. Hectic, a lot of noise, too many crackers, but it's overall very fun. A lot of people gathering together.
Yeah.
Family time, just a lot of sweets. Just 3-4 days off work, and it's just everybody lets loose. So
nice.
The city is chaos, but it's also beautiful at the same time.
Any gulab jamun?
Yeah, a lot of gulab jamun actually.
I gained a lot of weight eating gulab jamun.
Yeah, it's good, good sweets, good stuff.
Have you been to Canada?
I haven't been to Canada, no.
So in Canada, we have you have Cafe Coffee Day in India, right?
Yes, yes.
So we have we have Starbucks, obviously, but in Canada
Tim
we
Hortons.
also have Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timbits.
Yeah, we have Tim Hortons over here too.
Okay.
They've expanded all the way, yeah.
I always think of gulab jamun as, I always describe it to people as Timbits soaking in syrup.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it, yes.
Yeah, but they taste much better in my opinion. So maybe we'll talk later about geography in the context of the kind of space and spaces that you're in. But one of the things that impressed me when I was doing my research is you've done so many different projects in different applications, which is so cool. And I want to talk about a few of them.
Sure.
And you're clearly, you clearly have a passion for what you're doing. Is that something that came like when you were 5 years old? Is that something that came when you were like 18 years old? Like, when did you kind of realize like, wow, like I really love this?
Okay, so 5 is a little too early, but I want to say about like just when I started high school, I really found a knack in developing product and not just writing code, but like building stuff. So my parents, like when Internet of Things was more of a gimmick, where the first generation of Alexa came out, we picked it up. We picked up the first generation of Google Home, and we're like, wow, that's so cool. I can turn on my lights with just a voice command. I wanted to figure out how to build that. So I ended up buying a Raspberry Pi very early. This was when Pi 2s existed, which is like almost a decade ago. And I was just fiddling with it. Still in middle school. And that's sort of where it started. Found the passion. At that point, I was honestly just copy pasting code. I was just writing the stuff, not really getting into the nitty-gritties and trying to understand what I was building. But if there was a timeline, and if I were to say that's where it started, this is probably where it started. I wanted to build stuff, and that's where I got started with that. So a fun fact about me is, I don't know if you know of the certification called CCNA.
Yeah.
Cisco Certified Network Associate. Yeah. So I'm the youngest person in India to have ever had that certification. So I was in 8th grade when I cracked it. Yeah. Yes.
You're now officially going to be a celebrity in my college, because we've got so many students here from India, and CCNA is one of the main certifications that our students are are trying to get when they're not just working on their diploma studies. So
Yeah.
you'll instantly be famous here.
That's amazing. I'm sure the syllabus is like way different right now, but again, that's where it all began. And since
And how
then,
old were you then at that point?
uh, I was 13, maybe
Wow.
12. Yeah. Yeah. And I
No
started
excuses for
school a
my
year
students
early.
now.
No, they're all great. I'm sure they'll do well. Uh, I started school a little early. So when I started my undergrad, I was still 16 for the first 20 days of my
Wow.
undergrad. I was still 16. And I felt like that always gave me an advantage. And in my head, it's sort of like, oh, I can do something. And if I don't end up liking it, I'm already a year ahead. So I can just trace back and do something
Mm,
else. Right. That way I just had a lot of confidence to just try out a lot of different things. Like we've messed with hardware, did some PCB designs. I did UI UX designs, right? And I've also built a lot of software and code at the same time. So I had a lot of time to just mess around, play around rather, while also just trying to build stuff. So I think that's been the journey to getting to where I am right now.
did you're an outlier, I
Not
guess.
really, not really.
Did
I
did
don't
you
see it that
have
way.
did you well, you're 13 and you're passing CCNA and you're a year ahead in undergrad, so you're a bit of an outlier. Did you have like did you said that you don't see or feel that? Did you have people around you that were like that? Do you have are your parents like that? Like what this sort of like doing it on your own big achievement kind of thing, working on stuff on your own. Where did you did was that something you did kind of like alone by yourself, or did you have people around you supporting you, encouraging you that you're
Yeah.
looking up to? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, actually, I'm very glad I didn't have to do any of it alone. If I would have, I don't think I would have done it. Right. I'm a very social person. I'd like having people around. I always like doing things as a team, um, and working on things together. That's just how I've been working on stuff for a very long time. Parents have been very supportive since day zero. Um, Mom's at EFIP, digital forensic investigation professional, so she was heavily into cybersecurity, networking, and that was my gateway into CCNA.
Oh,
So um, she also taught many people. So I just joined one of her classes, and that's when I was like, "Oh, Cisco packager, so that's pretty cool. Let me sit
hmm,
with that." So that's where it began, and I've always had people around. Maybe even if not maybe the same age group. So very inquisitive, very curious people that were doing the same things, right? So I think when I was 13 or 14 again, I attended this business plan presentation competition as part of TYE. It's called the Youth Entrepreneur. Um,
yeah.
it's part of the TIE Ventures, the Indus Entrepreneur. And there was a competition in Atlanta where it it was just trying to set up a good business plan with a good 5-year plan. And most of my teammates, rather everybody over there in the competition, they were all much older. They were in high school, and but they were very supportive. They made me feel included, and yeah, it's been like that pretty much throughout, right? Like university, have my friends around. Um, my hackathon teammates during my university time are my co-founders now, right? So
Awesome.
we've stuck together for a very long time, and albeit elder, they've been very supportive, and everybody just was working towards the same thing. Um, and that's helped me quite a bit. I don't think I would have done it alone. It's support from all sides.
That's interesting to me because you said that you're very social, right? And I'm constantly teasing my students because they're computer people that, you know, they need to talk to humans with their mouth and not on Discord. And the social skills and the soft skills are not really, you know, there. But they can be. You can grow as a person. I was
Yeah.
pretty shy and quiet, and now I'm putting myself all over the internet doing podcasts and trying to become a LinkedIn superstar. And
Hmm.
so you can grow into it. Do you feel that have you felt that along the way that like you're maybe a little bit different in that regard than a lot of the people you work with, or have you attracted people that are also like outgoing, social, and also builders?
Yeah. So it's a mixed bag, that's for sure. Right. So I do have people around me that are equally as social, if not more than me. Like they'd want to
Mm,
hang out every now and then. They don't mind going out on the weekends, attend
yeah,
networking events, be in
right.
parties.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that every weekend either. Like I have my social battery, which drains pretty quick.
Mm,
Right.
okay.
And then there's the other side of the spectrum, people that just don't want to talk to anybody, right? Like really good, amazing developers. Like
Yeah.
honestly, some of them I regard them pretty high, right? Like some of the top developers in our country, in the world rather, right? Some of them that I know personally, they're always behind the scenes, rarely ever talk to you. I get a call from them once in a month, and usually it's about, do you want me to, do you want to help me build this thing? Right? It's
Yeah.
usually that conversation about, hey, do you want to catch up over a coffee? But I've seen both kinds of people, and I feel like what's helped me is having different groups of people for different things, right? So when even during university and even much later, um, even today, I have a group of friends that I hang out with, right? I have a group of friends who are also my colleagues that work with me. I have a group of friends that sit in the middle, right? This it's a Venn diagram,
Yeah.
and they're everywhere. So I feel like it's highly stereotyped when when people are like, well,
Yeah.
computer science, well, you guys are, you need to go touch some grass. Well,
Touch some grass. Yeah.
yeah, that's probably a stretch. Um, but again, people do exist, and it's a mixed
Yeah.
bag. They're around, and I like all of them equally.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the, he knows who he is developer on one of my teams, and he's brilliant. And, um, doesn't quite have this social piece really, like, but is like brilliant and like really, I'm really lucky that I get to work with him. Um, I do feel like what I tell my students is you don't have to become the life of the party, or you don't have to become a news anchor or
Hmm.
a celebrity, but there are times where having some social skill will help you, and there may be an opportunity that you can unlock just because you've practiced smiling, shaking hands, and asking people, what do you do for a living, or what are
That
you
is
working
true.
on, that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
small talk stuff.
100% agree. Yes.
Yeah. So I saw I saw you have like a long list of projects you've worked on. One of them is Jarvis,
Yeah.
which is it's funny because um some people around the college call me Iron Man because I've got all the fun tech, I've got all the toys, I've got the
Yeah.
the Meta Ray Bans, I've got robots, I've got and so that caught my attention, and it was an AI voice assistant, but it was in 2019.
Yeah.
So like pretty,
KGPT.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how tell me about that project.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting one. It it started off as a passion project. So, a little bit of background about my university in VIT Vellore. We have clubs and chapters, right? So, technical clubs and chapters. So, as part of IETE creation labs, we had different teams, and we were doing different stuff. So, our university primarily had two different fests. So one of them was Rivera, which is more of the cultural fest. There's singing, there's dancing, there's a bunch of stuff, mystery rooms, blah blah blah, the cool roller coasters, everything, right? And then there was the technical fest, Gravitas, and that's where I was a part of the workshop committee where I had to teach about 300 students. That was the biggest audience that I taught to at that particular point. And I wanted them to go back having built something of their own, not just sit there 2 days just to attend a workshop, but I wanted them to build something. And that's when I came up with Jarvis. It's built on top of my already existing projects. Around that time, Magic Code, we had a few other things that would build Ivy Lineator that's inspired by Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb. So we were just having fun, right? Um, so Jarvis in particular was just to pique the sophomores and the freshers, their interest, right? Get them hooked to, or maybe just help them discover an interest that was like latent, that's just hidden within. What I'd used for that was, since it was pre-GPT, there was no LLM, right? It was the combination of trying to understand how RNNs work, how CNNs work, how we classify, and how we
Yeah.
build an NLP layer with
Yeah.
word2vec and making them interesting, like just get it to work with a text-to-speech model, right? A GTTS, simple GTTS model, teach them that, broke it down to snippets, then introduce them to IBM Watson Assistant. That's been around for
Right.
super long. Intent, entity generation, what is the user trying to say? Do we have to perform an action based on an intent, right? Like add two numbers, the intent is addition, and what the two numbers would be, and so on. So that was a very interesting project. Over a period of 2 days, I taught these guys how to build it. And
Wow.
many of them are doing really well right now. Two of them that attended that, one of them is in Japan, working for a software company, a big one. Another one of them is working for Apple. So they found their interest, and that was actually a very amazing journey for me, because they reached out to me after I guided them with whatever I knew back then, and they found their way. So they're having fun, and it was good. It was a good good experience overall. That was the
Yeah, it's so
project. Yeah.
great. Like, and that's one of the things that I am pushing at my students at the college is don't just do your coursework.
Mm-hmm.
Build something. I think there's just so many benefits that come from that. I think
Yeah.
it unlocks passion and excitement and interest and dedication. And I have this course that I teach where I experimented last year, and I said, it's a special topics course. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
present material all semester on AI, VR, blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys are just going to build something. I don't care what it is. You decide
That's
in
interesting.
teams.
Yeah.
And they hated me for the first couple of weeks because they were like, you got to tell us what to do. Like, we don't know what to do. I was like, you got to figure it out. Like, you just make it up yourself, build something, and at the end of the term, so many students were like, this was amazing. Like, this was incredible. I learned way more than I would have normally learned. I worked way harder than I would have ever worked, because they got excited and passionate about something. They took ownership over something,
Yeah.
and so there's that piece. And then also, in terms of opportunities, it opens up, like, everybody's got a piece of paper. What do you
Mm-hmm.
have? What have you done? What can you show me? What can you do? Like, the paper doesn't the paper tells me you went to class and passed the tests. It doesn't
True.
really tell me what you can build. And so I really encourage students to do that, to build, to join clubs, and to create something.
That's amazing. I fully believe in that philosophy. 100% on board.
Great. I'm
That's the
going to
way.
quote
That's
you
the
on
way I
that.
learned most of my stuff. Yeah.
um, sorry.
All good.
So you did a social media bot thing.
Yes. Wow.
You know,
How are you getting all this
the
information?
underbelly of social media and programming. Um, so
That's a very interesting story. The social media bot. So talking about clubs and chapters, our university, we had about 85, 86 different clubs and chapters. Some of them technical, some of them, we had Pepsi, which is essentially just an editorial, right? There's the dance club, there's a music club, there's a bunch of things, right? There's too many things. And for a fresher that just walks in the university, there's 40,000 students around them, like 200 acres of land, and they're so lost. They're actually just so lost, and they're overwhelmed. They take a long time to figure out what to do, and sometimes they don't end up finding the right fit. So what we thought would be cool was we'd build a bot, right? Very straightforward, a very simple bot that's just going to scrape all the posts from all these chapters that we've identified, being in university for so long. We're going to scrape their post, scrape the caption, and just repost it on a separate account on Instagram. It was that simple. And we were still an undergrad. We were still figuring out how to scrape from Instagram, how to do it without rate limited, without getting rate limited.
I was going to say,
And yeah, there were a lot of problems. So we identified about 80, 85, and we thought we'll do this. So we set it up. we had it running, and people liked it. A lot of people did like it. Then we had a lot of people that just followed it. I mean, it didn't get as much traction as we thought it would, but it was a fun project because it didn't pick up as much as we thought it would. We sort of just left it in the back burner, but we left the server on, right? And it was on AWS. It was our first deployment on an EC2. This was in 2019 again, where our AWS bills just skyrocketed to about $1,300 Canadian. And we're like, oh, we cannot afford that right now. So we had to get on a call with the executive and tell them, hey, we messed up. We're students. We're just practicing. We're just learning. And Amazon was kind enough to actually just let us get away with it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great.
So that was a very good experience. Since then, I've been very careful, very, very careful. It was a good learning experience. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I saw another cool thing you built, which actually, like, I think is really useful, which is Shazam for video. So, like,
yes,
and like, because like you see, I think I don't know what the thinking behind it was, but one of the things that came to mind is like memes that people put out or like clips that they put out, and actually that makes an interesting, gives me a separate interesting thought with Sora 2 and generative AI and like people making clips in the style of a movie maybe. And it would be interesting to know if you could like then track down like where is that inspired from, even if it's not in the prompt, if you can't see the prompt, because you can edit the prompt after posting. But super cool. So tell me about that. FMIYC?
FMIYC. Find me if you can. Yeah.
Find me if you can. Yeah, that's
well,
right. Yeah.
This is such a nostalgic conversation. I'd forgotten about many of these projects, to be honest. This was for a hackathon in my university, actually, which I was hosting. So it was not even like a legal entry, but I was getting bored. So we thought we'd just build it, right? And the idea was, again, like you mentioned, there's clips that just go on the internet. There's WhatsApp forwards of clips. You just see something running on the TV. You want to find out what it is. And so we thought, well, Shazam exists. Shazam's amazing, right? Crazy algorithm. They've done a massive job. Huge music library. We cannot beat that. So we thought, why not do that for videos? But we don't have a library of videos. We don't have a library of videos like vectorized and encoded. So we came up with a very rather clever solution. It's a workaround, right? Where whatever video is playing, right? Let's say it's from a movie. Let's say it's from Interstellar, right?
Okay.
And whatever clip comes through there, what we thought we'd do was, again, if there's music playing in the background, try to filter out the music and match it against Shazam and try to figure out what movie that's from, right? That's one. The second strategy was there's faces, right? So we used Amazon's Recognize. So they have a Recognize library that recognizes celebrities. So Matthew McConaughey is going to come up and we're like, whoa, what movie is Matthew McConaughey was in? And who else was in the movie, right? Timothy Chalamet. And we're like, whoa, Timothy Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey. So we cross-reference that against IMDb and we're like, it could be either of these. So we sort of just drill down and try to figure out based on which has the highest matches. So it's like, well, it could be Interstellar. So that was the answer. It was, and Anne Hathaway, oh, that's definitely Interstellar, right? So that's so sort of how we came up with it.
My first thought was like, man, how did, like, I just immediately thought it would match with a training database of all of the video in history, which sounds like pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
we don't have the resources
too,
for
right?
That. Yeah. This is all years ago.
Fantastic. Wow, man. So like we could go on. I mean, you've done like a fashion customizing something or another.
Yeah.
You've done like tons of stuff, but your big project now is Expert Hire, right? Which started as Interacts.
It started as Interacts, absolutely.
So tell me how that came about. Like, it seems like now you've found something pretty big, pretty like you're sinking yourself into. So let's hear, like, how did you get up? How did you end up there?
Okay, so 2024, or rather late 2023, I ended up joining a couple of my friends that my co-founders now in this company, legal tech firm based out of the US, Cupertino, that helps people file trademarks, patents, and anything along those lines. And we were expanding globally, which meant China, South Africa, Mexico, a few other places. I think we also had an incorporation in France. I'm not too sure. But what that meant was training customer service and spending about 15,000 US a month just on customer service and marketing teams. And the more geographical locations we expanded to, it just kept doubling, tripling. The price just kept going up, right, at our expense, with not much of returns. And that's when my friends and we got together and we're like, fine, hey, now LLMs exist, right? We have pretty good TDS providers. Let's just try to build something. Let's just try to piece it all together. Right? This was pre OpenAI agent. This was pre voice to voice, real time APIs and GPT. So we thought we'll just build it ourselves. And prior to that, we already had experience working with RTC. So all three of us, before we worked in this company called Agora. So I'm not too sure if you've heard of it. It's a company that builds RTC SDKs, right? So we thought, hey, you know what? We've already done most of the stuff individually. Now it's time to just piece it together, and that's how Interact was born. So it's a cloud AI telephony solution. And when we started working on that, we'd already quit our company, so we thought we'd make this our legit company, our project, that we can take it forward and sell it to people. And then we hit a block, like a huge block, where we just not proceed. The telecom regulatory department of India, right, is super strict. There's no SIP over cloud. There's no VoIP gateway for domestic calls.
Really?
So if I'm going to be calling you, we could be using a VoIP gateway, and that's completely legal. If I were to call someone else domestically, I just cannot, and that'll be illegal, like by law. Yeah. So there are a lot of regulations.
Wild.
Yeah. And we're like, wow, we just can't use Twilio anymore.
Wow.
Right. So we hit a block. So we spoke to two of the leading telecom brands in India, sat with them, had a discussion, came up with an architecture that works, right? That just works for us. And it's also like legally well within the confined rules. I'm going to put it that way. Okay. And so we built our own SIP infrastructure. We had our own SIP lines, and we started working on the project. We hired a few people. And by this time, there was an event by Google. They had an AI Day for Startups event here in Chennai, in IIT Madras campus.
Okay.
So we were like, fine, let's sign up. Let's see. Let's get our idea validated. We ended up winning it.
Wow.
Because what my team and I have learned doing demos and pitches, and especially during hackathons, is just always have a demo, right? Nobody likes you just going there and just talking and yapping about your product for like 15, 20 minutes with just no visuals, or maybe very minimal visuals on your PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's much more powerful if you can just have a very quick, concise 2-minute demo to go along with your presentation, right? The more natural the segue, the more amazing it is. Like, people aren't even expecting it, and boom, that's the demo, right? My demo was just talking to my AI bot for like 2 minutes, and
right.
The AI bot and I pitched the product together.
Awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of people stopped me after that and asked me if it was pre-recorded. And I told them no. It's really that quick.
And what year was this in?
This is in 2024. Yeah, this is 2024, okay. Early 2024.
Yeah.
And IIT Madras Incubation Cell. So we formally got incubated with them after that. That's how we had an inlet. That's how we started talking to them. We got incubated there. And then we started acquiring clients. So we have about 5 clients at the moment, all enterprise clients that are using it in India at the moment for making AI cloud telephony solutions. So we built on top of it a lot of things. Like, there's agentic workflows now. There's unique workflows that can be set up. We have CRM integrations. It can interface with HubSpot, go high level. It can be Zoho. It can be anything. As soon as the lead comes in, this is automatically going to make a call maybe ask a few more questions, prospect them. There's like an unlimited amount of things that we can do right now. And we built out all these workflows extensively. And now people are enjoying it. It's been pretty good. So that was Attract. And what happened in the middle for a while is India as a country was just not ready for uh, mass adoption of AI on that level. And it still isn't to a certain extent, at least in those industries, right? Especially with customer service and telemarketing in particular. That's when we met Atul and Wendy, two of them. So they're investors in my company. They're based out of Silicon Valley. Have been in the staffing managed services industry for the last 40 years. Right? They have an abundance of experience, and they started their own venture now, which is in stealth. And when we met them in Singapore earlier, so we identified a lot of problems with a lot of gaps, rather, in the staffing industry, right? With technical screening not being done properly. Like there's recruiters that don't really understand the domain that well, but they still have to screen and vet candidates to pass it on to the company. A company doesn't want an inflow of unqualified candidates. The last thing an engineering manager wants to see is a resume of someone that's just not right for the job, right? That wastes so much time. And there were a lot of gaps in the industry. And we thought, now that we have Interact, right? That's the AI conversational part taken care of.
Right.
We build on top of it. And we make everything else around that, right? That's just the AI interview. And now that we have these domain experts with us that have worked in the industry for ages, right? They just know everything there is to know. With a lot of experience, a lot of guidance, we built Expert Hire. And staffing agencies, universities, even for preparation, they've been using it. Everyone's been loving it. It's given them a lot of valuable feedback. A lot of people that have prepared using Expert Hire have now been hired in their aspirational companies. And that's amazing. It feels amazing, yes. So that was the journey overall into building it and getting it and rolling it out to people.
You build all, like, constantly. You're shipping all the time, it seems. How do you, this is something I've been working on lately, is like, and I think that there's a lesson in here for me that I've been trying to apply myself, which is this kind of synergy between different projects. Like that seems to be something that has been a massive unlock for me. And I've been working really hard to build once, ship three times.
No, that's so true. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times people don't really understand how much their old code is actually worth. People usually just get onto one thing. Like a lot of the startups and a lot of the founders that I know personally from my university and even through networking events, and now they all have 20 million, 30 million, $40 million valuation companies. They've all been funded, but it's been their second, third, fourth idea. Some of them first, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
But most of them have built on top of their existing tech. They found a niche, they built the tech, and they're like, fine, I'm going to build it for this industry now. And it's all about identifying the gap and repurposing your product as much as you can, right? That saves your time. It helps you go to market really quick. And it's all the effort that you've put in already, and you know the ins and outs of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the best strategy, I think, in my opinion, to just build it faster.
It seems like really necessary too, because, like, you know, one of my projects is an image generator, like headshot generator, right? And like we knew that the time was short, that like there would, you know, it was gonna be the race to zero, and everyone was gonna have one. And actually someone on LinkedIn, I can't remember who it is, she set up some platform and has arranged for probably using like Nano Banana or something, but like it doesn't matter. Like set up a platform and was like, hey, come to our platform, sign up, you can do a free headshot on our platform. And they're probably like getting all kinds of contact information from everyone, which is fantastic. But I've been watching over the last year as the different models come out, as the different offerings come out, and just trying to think like, okay, where do we go next? Like, where do we take this, as opposed to just abandoning ship and
Hmm.
and and losing all of the time that we spent in building the platform. So it and in the race, and I guess maybe the original iteration wasn't niche enough. Maybe that's part of
Hmm.
the problem, but um I think that's really good advice, to like just keep swinging, and not necessarily just throw everything away and start from scratch. um
Yeah, it can go from a headshot generator to a thumbnail generator, and maybe from a thumbnail generator it can go to a marketplace of different different sort of image generation. It could be anything,
yeah,
right? From
yeah, 100%, yeah. Yeah,
repertoire
thanks.
of
That's
just
that's
yeah.
that's a good tip. I'm gonna cut that part out so no one uses that. Um, so so it's interesting. Like, so you have a formal education. You finished your degree. I didn't check that actually.
I did. I did.
You did. Okay. So you have
I did.
formal education, you have certification, and you have proof of ability to ship, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you've noticed, like, there's this like anti-school trend going on, and
Hmm.
now people are like, "Oh, I'm dropping out." And actually, I saw something is called like the agency or something that was like, and their marketing campaign right now is drop out and join us. Like,
Wow.
like,
Okay.
yeah, like, so it's like serious. There's a serious question on the table about the value of a formal education. And I mean, I think that there's still value. I think
Hmm.
a lot of the things you describe, particularly like that campus experience and being
Yes.
part of a community, and like, I think there's so much value there that's not just the actual curriculum and in-class learning that you don't get necessarily from taking an online certification or an online course. Um,
I
and
tend to
actually,
agree. Yeah.
yeah. So
100%.
you would say like that that rather than pick one, it's all three. And also, if you don't have all three, you can still find your way to success. So what do you so if you
Definitely.
so what's your advice for the, let's say, the person in university college, or going into university college, like that sort of stage of life, like
Hmm.
that stage of life where nobody knows who you are, you don't have anything to show the world. You're trying, we're trained and programmed, like, go and get your degree, diploma. And that I joke with my students all the time. I'm like, it's not a laundry service. Like, you can't just like walk into the dry cleaners with your ticket and say like, okay, where's my job? Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
work that way at all. So I would love to hear a little bit of, speaking to the generation from you.
Hmm. Yeah. I agree with everything that you said, and I'm gonna quote you again just now. And you said nobody knows who you are when you're in university. You don't really have anything to show, and you can look at it from a different angle. It's such an advantage that nobody knows who you are, because if you mess up,
Mm,
right, nobody knows.
right.
Nobody knows you messed up. And you have 4 years, you have 5 years sometimes, you have three. That's a lot of time to sit and try out different things, right? You've obviously got your classes, you've got your curriculum to get through, you've got your papers and tests to give, but that's a very small percentage of time. And I feel like it's about finding the balance between not burning yourself out, right? Just don't don't spend 19 hours a day just trying to build something, trying to work it, just using your brains. Just take a
Mm,
break, right? And but also instead of just partying or just doing something else, right, or just whiling away time, um, you can. It's about finding the right people. Also, I was very lucky to find the right people in university, um, and we sort of stuck together, so we all had the same idea. So if one of us is sort of just like slacking or just oh wanting to do something else. So it's a group activity, right? Like people just pull you back and they're like, hey, you know what, get your shit together. And that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of difference also. Find the right people. Don't while away time. 4 years, 5 years, 3 years, a lot of time to try out different things.
Yeah.
And I fully believe in um, a project based learning, right? Build something, because when you want to build something, if you have an idea, all you need is an idea. You don't need to know how to do it. You'll figure out how to do it in the process of building it,
Yeah.
right? And that way you just learn so many things. Build 10 different things, you've already learned 40 different techniques. You've already
Right.
learned 40 different ways of building things. So that I feel like that's my approach to that, right? Um I don't want to say it, but like I had a pretty decent GPA in university. I had like an 8.8, which not it's not the best, right? But it's also not bad.
8.8.
8.8 on
Is it?
10. Yeah, so
Okay.
we have it on 10. That would come out to roughly around what, 3.4, 3.2,
Okay.
something like
Yeah.
that.
So not.
Which is
It's
okay.
all right.
It's all right. Yeah. Funny story again. So for all these hackathons, we were in the US for a couple months. I'd gone back and I had my control systems test. So this is the second test in the semester. So we had 2 tests and one final test, like 2 interim tests. So the first test ended up scoring a 43 on 50, which is pretty decent. I'm like, fine, I'll
Yeah.
take that. The second test, I bombed so hard, I got a 4 on 50.
Oh.
And I called up my mom and I'm like, Mom, I want to drop out. I can't do this. ECE is not for me, right? I'm just going to do CS. It's okay. Mom was like, no, you just stay on, right? You got this. Don't worry about it. And you'll be fine. And I was fine. Glad that I didn't have to take a drop year and do it all over again. But sometimes it does feel like that. Sometimes it feels like you do get overwhelmed, especially as a student. There's a lot of things you're juggling through. And just figuring out how to manage your time 100% helps. If you have a schedule, stick to that. That's it. I don't think I'm in a position to give out advice, but that's what I did, and that's what worked for me.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. I think you are in a position. I mean, you like wildly successful. So I think that I'm going to take notes myself and apply them myself to my own approach to getting things done and building and shipping and just finding passion
Mm-hmm.
and success. And I don't even necessarily mean in the monetary sense. um, I think it's clear to me in interviewing you that you are incredibly busy and disciplined and work hard, but you also seem really happy. Like
Yeah,
you enjoy where you're
I
at.
enjoy this.
That's that is more rewarding than money in the long run. Money's nice too, don't get me wrong. Like, but the money will be there, like
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer the money will be there if you find joy and passion in what you do. Um, so last thing before we go, people that want to reach out to you, people that want to get advice, or people that want to collaborate, or people that want to hear more about
Mm-hmm.
your what you've built, and maybe it's a service they're interested in, where can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Okay.
I'm
We'll put that in the
100%
show
available on
notes.
LinkedIn.
Okay,
LinkedIn
cool.
or even Instagram. Instagram's okay. LinkedIn's okay.
Can confirm when I message you, you reply instantly. So. And
Yeah, I
that's what I
try.
usually tell people too.
Yeah, my inbox isn't as loaded as yours, so I can do that. Yeah.
Well, this has been amazing, man. I totally enjoyed this. Thanks for being the test subject for Riverside.
No, thank
Hopefully,
you. Thank you, really.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna play it back, and we're gonna hear it, both of us, and see both of us.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, we'll find out.
yeah, it's just been a real pleasure. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. This is my first podcast appearance as a guest, so
What?
maybe I'd like to have you on my
Yeah,
podcast sometime. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, well, send me a note on LinkedIn.
Sure.
All right, take care. See you
All
later, man.
right. Thank you.